Well, hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the Heart of the Matter podcast. I am your host, Carlotta Taylor Franks, author of No More Flinching, founder of Somebody Step In Incorporated, a nonprofit for foster youth and young adults and people who want to reach beyond the break of their adversity and to keep going and walking their purpose. I am so excited today. I'm going to be bringing to you the second episode of The Heart of the Matter. Second episode of Heart of the Matter. And guess what? Yes, it's a beginner. It's my first podcast, actually, the second episode. And guess what? Everybody has to start somewhere. So I'm really, really excited about taking that leap. I used to sit back and wonder, I want to do that one day. I want to write a book one day. I want to start my podcast someday. Well, guess what? I'm actually doing it. And that's what it's all about. So if you have any desire, in your heart to do those things that you really want to do, take the first step and do it. Now, listen, I will not only be recording for the podcast today, I'm also going to be recording video by way of video because I want to upload this video so people can watch it on YouTube and actually see my face and also tune into the podcast on Anchor from the Anchor link and actually listen for those of you who just want to listen. The topic for today is Seed Bud Bloom. That's the topic for today. I'm not going to be before you long. I don't want this to be a long, long message. I just want to get right to the point. Now, the topic of Seed Bud Bloom. What is that about? Where does Seed Bud Bloom come from? Well, Seed Bud Bloom actually comes from my title of my book before it published. Yes, that's right. Before I published No More Flinching, right? The title of my book was Seed Bud Bloom. Now I'm going to unpack that. What does that mean? Because initially when I was writing my book, I wanted to tell my story in a way that I gave you the foundation. I went and highlighted my rough points and things I had to overcome. And then I want to take you to how I get to the point of where I'm actually blooming and walking in my purpose. And I like to start off by saying this. Most people who actually live their lives and they get to their last moments in life, take their last breaths. My grandfather was one of them, so I kind of know what I'm talking about. Plus, I've done a little research, and maybe you've heard this before. Most people in their last moments in life, they regret, okay? They regret not going for it. They regret the chances they didn't take. A lot of people, they regret never going for it. They wanted to write a book, but guess what? They never wrote it. They never published it. Or they made a journal and just never completed that project that was ever so pressing on their heart. Or they never walked in their purpose in life. They never became the person they really wanted to be deep down inside. So at the end of the day, I realized, you know what? I know I have a purpose. I know my purpose is to share my story with people, to inspire people. I used to do it on the low screen, like not even in the screen or no on nobody's stage. Okay. I started doing this years ago with friends, family. I worked in law enforcement. I did it then. If you want to know more about my story, definitely check out No More Flinching, which is my book that I published. You can check it out on my website, www.carlottataylor.com, or No More Flinching on Amazon. But in my book, I give you the foundation for my life story and tell you about those hardships. But what I realize is most people, when they get to the end of their life, they just really hate they never went for it. How do you get stuck in a position to where you live your whole entire life and you never go through? You never go for it. You never go through what you need to go through or learn the lessons that you need to learn in order to get you to that other side. That grass is greener on the other side, or maybe that one day, or that one day I'm gonna get to my goals. One day I'm gonna get to my dreams. How do you get there? Okay, so let me back it up. Let's talk about seed. Now, seed, just like a seed is planted into the ground, it's planted into the earth. It has no control over where. It has no control over the conditions, the environment it will be in. Has no control over the weather. Has no control whether it's going to get rain, the proper nourishment, right? Well, just like that seed that's planted in the ground, or seed, however it's planted, the same thing goes for people. There are all different kinds of seeds, all different walks of life, all different types of people. It doesn't matter about the black or the white thing. I'm glad people are starting to wake up about that. It doesn't matter about what color you are, what race you are, what's your nationality, where you come from, what's your culture. You're just a different seed that's planted into this world, right? And a lot of times you don't know your potential, but you're planted. And a lot of times you're planted in a home where you have no control over who's taking care of you. You have no control over the love that you receive or the hatred that you receive. You have no control whether you're going to be treated properly or not, right? So unfortunately, I'm going to talk about that a little bit too. I'm going to go into that, but not too much, okay? I was planted in a household where my mom and my father, they were rather young in their 20s, right? Right at 20 to be exact. And they had me. And it was okay while we stayed with my grandparents. It was okay. It was pretty cool. The grandparents pretty much sheltered us from any type of hardships that would take place had we been left in our parents' care alone. But when we moved to Morton, Mississippi, back when I was around 4 or 5-ish, beatings started to occur. And no, I'm not talking about your average whooping. I'm not talking about a whooping with a switch. I read someone's comment earlier today on an interview I did and talked about how, the switches are hard. Yeah, they were. But I'm not talking about those type of whoopings. I'm not talking about the leather strap whoopings. I'm talking about being punched in the face, kicked in the stomach, hit with boards, 2x4s upside your head. I'm glad that I don't have any missing body parts and nothing like really, really damaging. I don't know if you can see this, but if I can look this way, you may see some dark spots in my eyes. And I think in this eye right here, I have like 2 dots. I have 2 dark dots in my eye. That's from when being punched and bruising in my eyes. And these 2 dots is I had a belt buckle that was actually punctured in my eye at one point during one of the whoopings that my dad gave me back in the day. And it was like blood vessels and everything it caused permanent damage, but thankfully I'm not blind or anything could have happened, but God bless it, I made it through that. However, I didn't control any of that. I didn't control being punched in the face, hit because I wasn't massaging him good enough or hard enough. I didn't make a sandwich quick enough or hard enough. I didn't sprint fast enough to bring him his food or serve him properly. And that would cause us to get hit, me and my oldest brother. It would be just saying, bring your head here, boom, getting punched in the face. And wearing black eyes and busted lips and busted eardrums with pus running out my ear to school. I didn't get the liberty of wearing beautiful clothes and beautiful barrettes. I wore black eyes and busted lips to school. That was my reality. I was a shy little girl. I did not have any friends, really. I may have had one friend in my youth and then started getting other friends when I became in high school, when I got in high school. But I didn't have the friends. I wasn't the clique girl. I was the one that was talked about. I was the one that was bullied. I was the one that they made songs and made fun about because of what I looked like going to school. I had to comb my own hair since I was 5 years old. Of course, you see I do my makeup, but this is all me. But I learned how to do makeup because I felt like I was ugly and stuff like that. But I'm not saying I wear makeup because I think I'm ugly. No, I did not have good skin, so I used to like put makeup on and try to hide the blemishes in my face because I didn't know the importance of cleaning your face. Like it's a lot of things I didn't know. Had to pretty much grow up the hard way, the tough way, and just learn a lot of things on my own. But I had some really dark moments. I used to think that my parents had not adopted me, but I used to think they had kidnapped me because my dad would beat us so bad. Sometimes he would stuff the doors and the windows with clothes. And so I'm like, no way a real parent, father, mother, no, we have to be kidnapped. That has to be the answer. I got it. Like no parent would actually do this to their child. And I had the reality of facing that these are my real parents. That was like another reality shock. But this is my seeding process. This is what I was being nurtured this kind of way. The business was so bad and it got the attention of Department of Human Services to where we wind up being taken into custody. Me and my oldest brother taken into custody, placed in foster care, placed in shelters in between foster care. And not only was I verbally and physically abused at home, told I wasn't going to be anything when I grew up with my father. I was dumb. I'm stupid, right? I get in foster care and I'm called names and old long face yellow gal and so many things. Me and my brother were forced to eat hog slop. We went through a lot of things, but that was like a part of us being grown. We had no control over that. I'm just gonna be honest. There are a lot of people right now who are living their lives, and children especially, placed in these conditions, placed in these families in these homes. They have no control over what's happening to them. That was what I would call your seeding phase. And then, of course, you're gonna grow. Okay, so by between the birth, 4 and 5 years old, growing up until around the age of 11, I tried to commit suicide because it was so much going on. I really just couldn't process it. I couldn't take it. It was breaking me, right? And and just to know also that there was a police officer living right next door that never did anything about anything, never said anything to my dad, never just act like he didn't see anything. So that's another story. However, around the age of 12, 13 is just when my mom finally divorced my dad. And so we moved. That's another story. I have so many stories going on here. But that transitional phase from being planted into a family and growing up. See, you're going to grow up. God bless it. If you live long enough, you're going to grow into an adult. And that's going to be more so into your budding phase because now you're coming into your own. You're coming into your own, but you're still a little comfortable because you're just doing life and everything that life has done to you. You're just kind of like going through the motions. I think most people, unless you're just super, super human, because there are some people out there that just get it. At the age of 5, they knew exactly what they wanted to do in life. They knew their purpose. They knew their passion. They're full of love and inspiring, and then boom, they just take off and just keep going. But then there are most people in the world like me, like the several thousands and millions of foster children or children who've been abused, facing all types of adversity, had no control of their environment, who slipped through the cracks. They wind up getting on drugs, wind up going, being in jail. It's just a number of things that happens to them. Gosh, some even lose their life. Thank God that wasn't me. But the abuse is so crazy. And it takes its toll on people. So you go from your seed and then you grow up into your bud. Now, what are you going to do with all of that? How do you make it? And I'm gonna get to that later. But what are you gonna do with all that? It's like this is a lot. And now you're an adult now. And it seems like the world just wants you to just get it and you got it, right? You're supposed to go out there and just act like none of this ever happened. How do you deal with that? And a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't get to deal with it in a great way. So I can talk from experience. Me, myself, I was just, if you can imagine a person falling out the sky, but just trying to reach and grab for anything they can hold on to survive. That was me. I didn't know my purpose. I didn't think anything good would happen for me. This was my bunny face, but I knew I was getting to adulthood, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I tried everything, tried different jobs, and nothing stuck until I got into law enforcement. Law enforcement, I go into that. I'm going to give you a short version for the sake of time today. But now I'm an adult, and what do? I finally get into law enforcement. I realized, oh my gosh, this is something I can do with my eyes closed. This is that thing that they talk about, like, okay, you do it and you can do it for free, right? Just about. It was almost my purpose. Like it was a really good career for me. It fit me career-wise, I'll say that. Because now I'm more so in my purpose with sharing my story and inspiring others. But law enforcement was that thing that I just did naturally. I'm the natural protector. I'm the one that's going to look out for others. I'm the oldest of 4, so that's kind of like my thing. It was like second nature. So I get into law enforcement and I do really, really well in that. I go from being a police officer, child protection detective, robbery homicide investigator. Then I was background investigator. I went federal and just did really, really great. However, there was some points in my life where I was like, I know this is not it. Yeah, I'm a great detective. Will solve the heck out of some cases. Make some people very, very angry and make some people very, very happy that their case got solved, that their loved one that died by gunshot wounds. They get to have some type of peace knowing that the person that put their loved one there is in jail now, for a long time. But it was like a pat on the back. And yeah, I'm glad, I'm great, I did that. And yeah, I can really work the heck out of a case. But I still felt this emptiness inside of me, like, this is not your purpose. This is not, I didn't bring you. And this will be God speaking to me, in me, through me. I didn't bring you through all what you went through, 26 different placements, being in and out of your home, in and foster care, shelters, in and out. I didn't let you survive the rough stuff and go through all what you went through. Okay, to know more about that, definitely pick up the book, No More Flinching. I don't want to go too deep in that. But God didn't bring me through all of that just to, lock it away. Because I learned and found out as I walked and as I shared my story with certain people, not only anybody stage at this point, this is just basic life, friends, family, people I met on calls, people I came in contact with. Whenever the opportunity presented itself for me to share my story, I would share it. And it was so inspiring to people, and it changed people's lives, brought tears to people's eyes, and just a number of things. And it just started being embedded in me. I need to tell my story. And that's where, writing the book came along and sharing my story, like for real, like on the stage with the microphone in my hand, being that person and just say, this is me, this is what I've experienced. See, I've experienced not just child abuse. I've experienced not just verbal sexual abuse or physical abuse, but I've experienced domestic violence. I've experienced being sexually harassed at my job, in law enforcement, going through a police academy, and being the oddball, the black person, that one, not just the black person, I meant to say black sheep, but being that one that's like, oh, don't talk to her, she's gonna press sexual harassment charges on you. That was me. And 23-year-old me, fresh out the military, I did not even file sexual harassment because at the time, I felt like if I went and got an attorney and tried to file this big lawsuit and tried to get paid because I was being sexually harassed from a police academy, when all I wanted to do was just graduate like everybody else, and I was doing really well. All I wanted to do was graduate and be a great police officer. But no, I had to catch the rap because someone wanted more. Someone wanted more, and it made me look bad. And I was labeled as being a person who's going to file sexual harassment, and I hadn't even did that. All I did, for the sake of me, I had to write down everything that had happened, and I started keeping a journal of what transpired. And that experience alone was just crazy. Here I am, 23. Shout out to the people who have to truly endure it for real. That's nothing great to go through. But I've been through so many things. I'm looking forward to writing my next book because I know that it will inspire someone as well because I'm going in a different direction with my next one. But I've been through so many things, and that's all a part of my budding phase. So my budding phase is sometimes in our bud, we can get really, really comfortable. Just a picture, just imagine a bud, a rosebud. You notice how they're all tight and tightly clothed together, just wrapped up real comfortable. That's that comfortable where you go to work every day. You might go a little 10 to 15 minutes early. You have your coffee when you get there. You're being nice to all your coworkers, real comfortable. Even the ones you don't want to be nice to, you're doing it because you want that next promotion, right? And you go home and you pet the dog and you get home and you give your loved one a kiss on the cheek and then you sit down and watch some TV, right? You watch your favorite show or binge watch or whatever the case may be, and you're up the next day doing it all over again. See your kids and you have your little routine down packed, but you're just in that little, what would I call that? You're in that little cycle, that system. You just know everything is just, you know how it's going to work out. You got everything down packed and nothing is really stretching you. Nothing is really striving you to go after anything. You kind of revisit your dreams and your goals every first of the year, right? You kind of look like you're looking way over across the Grand Canyon. You're looking way over there. You see a little twinkle and you're like, those are my dreams and my goals. I'm going to get to them one day. I'm going to do it. You know what? This is going to be my year. 2020 is going to be my year. 6 more months left in 2019. What the heck? I just keep doing what I've been doing. But when 2020 gets here, January 1, I'm going to give it all I got. And what happens when January 1 gets here? What happens? You already know. A lot of times, most things that happen is what? When it gets here, I just wait till the next year. I'm going to wait until 2021 because I don't even like even numbers. I like odd numbers, whatever. It's always something. It's always that next promotion or that next thing that you're looking at. It gets you distracted from the main, your main journey, your main destiny. So, in order to go from your bud, that bud is a comfortable place. You have to break free of that old routine, that same old thing you've been doing. You have to change. And it's not really about looking at other people and watching other people do this alcohol thing. It's about you looking inside. What does Carlotta need to change about herself so I can get myself in alignment in order to be who I need to be and start walking in my purpose? How do I go from a bud to a bloom? You have to spring forth and find things that's going to cause you to spring forth, whether it be spiritual, whether it be meditating, whether it be reading, or listening to other people who are doing what you want to do, getting great advice, surrounding yourself with good people. You have to get uncomfortable. I had to get uncomfortable. There's no way that I knew, there's no way I could have known. When I was that little girl with them two ponytails with that part that was never parted straight in the back because I had to comb my own hair and I couldn't see in the back and I didn't know nothing about using a mirror back then. I had to go from being that little broken girl who was dumb and stupid and told nothing, you're not going to be anything when you get older, and being told some other things too. I won't repeat because it's just a little too vulgar, okay? But I had to go from being that little girl to being a grown woman who said, you know what? I'm going to have to let this go. That pain, that hurt, the relationship that I wanted to have with my parents and things of that nature, I'm going to have to let it go. The resentment I had to my father, I had to let it go. The resentment I had to my mom at the time for just being the watchdog, like watching it happen at that time, but just, really being, I told my mom back in the day, like I used to look at her like she was just a beautiful woman, but she used to be like a picture on a frame, in a wall, a picture. I just, that's how I compare my mom, just beautiful picture on a wall, but who did not impact my life at all. Like didn't make any steps, did not do anything. And I just thought my mom would forever be that way. Cause I thought I knew her. I thought I knew that, she was just gonna always be that person. I thought my dad was just gonna always be this person. Well, see, when I found out that my dad had his own story, okay, and that he was adopted as well, and he was abused and just really probably even more so than I was, okay, I started looking at taking myself out of the equation, spiritually aligning myself and saying, okay, I have to just put myself in his shoes. Not that I would ever do that to my children, no. But I had to look through his eyes. And I know I've had some moments in my life where I was just not all there mentally. And I can really talk about that in the area of relationships. In my previous marriage, especially my first marriage, I was just going through the motions, and really I wanted good, but nothing was landing for me. I just hadn't reached my aha moment, and I didn't know the value of my words and how I acted and how I treated people. I just didn't care. I didn't care, and I still held on to unforgiveness. I wore it like a piece of clothing. So it kept me down. It kept me in the dumps. It kept me low to the ground. And you cannot fly high. You cannot soar like an eagle. You cannot get to your destiny holding on to all that baggage, holding on to all that weight. You have to let it go. I love the fact that I have a business partner of mine, a person that I also, help them in leadership and things of that nature because they're aspiring business person. And she shared with me, I won't release her name, but she shared with me about how her reading my book. She shared with me about her reading my book and realizing that she held on to not forgiving her father for showing up to her wedding. When she read that I had forgiven my father for the things that he done towards me, it really, really resonated with her, and it allowed her to walk in forgiveness with her own father. Now, I have numerous of stories. That's just the one that really just jumped out to me right now. Just imagine you walking in your purpose, you getting yourself together, you living your best life in real life and not just on Facebook or social media. Just imagine you doing what it takes to get you to that next place in life where you like, okay, I'm on the right track now. I'm finally getting there and I'm walking in my purpose. And that right there is a life that I really wouldn't trade. Now, I really walked away from my job. I didn't walk off the job, put in my 2 weeks notice. But I walked out, stepping out on faith to know that, hey, God told me to write this book. I'm going to write this book. God told me to start, stepping forward and walking forward and walking in my purpose and speaking more and sharing my story. That's what I'm going to do. And I just keep on walking in that and trusting God for the increase. And that's just where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. And I'm very, very grateful. But just imagine Just imagine this for a moment. Are you the person who has goals and dreams buried deep down inside of them? Okay. Are you going to let them just stay there? See, one day what did it for me was one day I was driving down the street and I saw a graveyard. I don't mean to bring it up, but I saw a graveyard to my left. And I was driving and I looked and I was like, it just hit me. Is that going to be you? Are you going to be there and not do what I've called you to do, what you're supposed to be doing? Keep putting it to the side. Every year you keep putting it off. Well, guess what? I said no. And I just had a quickening in my spirit, a quickening in my heart to get up and do something about it. And just start writing, start doing that thing that you know you want to do, whatever it is, get to that. You deserve to bloom in this lifetime. It's not going to be easy. I'm just now walking into it. Shy of a year. Now, don't get me wrong. It's been a long process. I didn't just start thinking about this yesterday, or I didn't just start thinking about this in December. This is my life. Today is my birthday, June 24th, and it just so happens to be the day that I'm going to release this podcast, episode 2. Really excited about it, and also excited about this video that I'm doing right now that I will upload on YouTube later on my channel. This is the heart of the matter, and I'm really excited to talk to you today about Seed Bud Bloom. And everybody has their own Seed Bud Bloom. What is your Seed Bud Bloom? I would really like to know. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm on Facebook. My personal page is Carlotta Taylor Franks. My author page is Author Carlotta Taylor. And I'm also Author Carlotta Taylor on Instagram and Twitter. And also on my nonprofit organization is Somebody Step In on Facebook. And my webpage, definitely follow my webpage and subscribe. It's www.carlottataylor.com. That's CarloTtaylor. Now, next Monday, I want you to tune in because we're going to have a very special guest, and I cannot wait to interview this person. We'll also do it on the podcast, and we'll probably wind up doing the video as well to upload for later. And it's just been great. I love sharing my story to inspire, even if it's just to inspire one person. As I shared on my Facebook Live earlier today, when you impact one life, one person, you don't just look at it like you're just impacting one person. You are impacting that person and whoever they touch, whoever they reach. When they are saying, "Ooh, I was inspired by such and such," then they're gonna say, "Now I'm excited. I want to go inspire someone else too, because they lit a fire in me that I probably wouldn't even got lit unless I heard that person's story." And now, boom, now they're on to go help someone else. And then guess what? That person they touched is gonna go help someone else. And now it's an infinity. It's infinity. It's like an infinity sign. Infinity. So when you help one, you pretty much help all when it all boils down to it. Thank you for tuning in to the heart of the matter. And I'll be with you next week. God bless it. Have a great day.